Hey, my wonderful Sagittarius placements. This is the Divine Feminine Sagittarius read. For those of you that are unsure if you're more feminine or masculine energy imbalanced, please watch both and see what resonates with you. You can also go to my website, gingermama.com with the 3 A's. And I have a free blog, if you scroll down a little bit, it's like a checklist on wounded masculine and feminine energy. We all hold both, everyone. The goal is to get back to center. But many of us have become so imbalanced in one or the other that we struggle. So, for those of you who resonate with the feminine energy right now, and that's your journey, stay tuned. Let's get into it. All right. Excuse me. Some of you need to speak your truth, okay? As I was channeling for you, source spirit guides, what was coming in for me was this idea of like you opening a book. And it's like your life. It's like this book might have been really frayed, the pages torn out. You're like, no one expected you to really like level the fuck up. And you're like, no, I'm gonna level the fuck up. I know who I am. And excuse me, again, as you speak your truth, as you're embodying this power, you're realizing you are the main character in the book, that you get to write the end of the book, that you get to put anything that your heart can desire into that book. And so really focus on that this month. Even if you're not feeling like that, you might be feeling a little drained, depleted. Know that you are doing the work. You are on the right path. I think many of you are past the point of just, and maybe not, some of you might be there, the initial like, I'm seeing 11:11, I'm seeing 10:10. Now many of you are hitting this point where you're like, whoa, no. I have spirit guides coming in, I got energy, I got dream downloads. I'm really sitting and pulling back from other energies. I'm leaving karmic friends, family, lovers. I am pulling back. And if you are not, this is your reminder to do so. The 3 of Pentacles reversed. I know this is one of the most painful parts on the journey, is asking ourselves, why do I have to pull away from people I love? And understand it's for you to heal, you to ascend, you to align with your own book, for you to become the main character. Everybody else has to become the main character in their lives. And you must trust that if you were guided here, if you found the information, the content, you're doing this, that it's not your job to save anyone else. It's not your job to drag them along. They have their own life experiences they need to work through just like you did, okay? But you're getting out of a place of sadness and grief. That is the hope right now. You're realizing there's no other option except to choose you. And I love that for you. I love that for you. All right, let's get into the astrology of this month. Excuse me, again, many of you, that throat chakra, this is the most that's happened on one of my readings today for this channel. So please be sure you are speaking clearly, concisely your truth. If you care about someone, especially if it's a romantic partner, you're making that clear. You're asking them in person or texting them or saying, hey, I feel like we have a strong connection. I'd really like to be in a relationship with you. Can we discuss this? Can we talk about this? And if they pull back, you're like, okay, I'm going to take that pain. I'm going to channel it into the future me. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve situationships. I don't deserve half-assed energy. I am the main character. You got it? I also have a lot of free blog content on that if you want to know more, or if you feel like you're in a twin flame dynamic with someone, okay? But on the 5th, we have Venus, the planet of love, in the sign of Virgo, in Virgo season, right? Of course. And so understand something about that energy. Virgo asks us to be very mindful. By the way, it's 555 on my clock. Many of you, these repeating numbers feel significant for you. Focus in on, if you're seeing 10, 10, 11, 11, that's great. But focus further on other repeating numbers. Obviously 555, 444, but if you're seeing like 422, 311, like the repeating numbers at the end of time, that actually is a sign that you're progressing to the next level. And then as you get to the further level, you'll see mirrored numbers like 505, 414, like those mirrored numbers on opposite ends, okay? So pay attention to the numbers right now. If you feel called to look up certain license plate numbers, things like that, just look up the number and angel number. Sometimes if I get a spam call or something, I'll look up the last 4 digits. Not always, but it's a sign from source directly for you. Okay, so keep that in mind this month. But Venus in Virgo is asking us to get very clear and practical and grounded in what it is we want to call in love, in our most intimate partnerships, okay? But it's also highly intuitive. So it's like this feeling of like, I want to be really grounded and stable and secure. I want to feel safe. That's what feminine energy wants. I want to feel safe to really embody my power, right? So once you feel safe within yourself, you know you're the main character, you can explode that for the world. But when it comes to a romantic relationship, you want to be able to like curl up with someone and just be you, and pull away from that and feel safe enough to like let your guard down, right? The only way you can feel safe enough is through commitment. Okay, and this doesn't have to be marriage or engagement, but it does need to be a form of commitment to communication, commitment to clarity. For some people, it is commitment to exclusivity when it comes to sexual energy. It depends on who you are, right? So get very, very specific. Anytime we share sexual energy, we're picking up fragments of other sexual partners that person had, that we had, sexual pain and trauma, and we have to clear that from our system. And so oftentimes feminine energy is pushed into these situations because they're craving closeness and connection and safety, and then they get in them and they feel very wounded by them. So again, some of you are not speaking your truth. I'm uncomfortable in this situationship. I'm uncomfortable in this open marriage, whatever it might be for you. If you're not feeling 1,000% all in, that is your sign to pull away from that connection, no matter how painful, okay? I promise you, you will feel better and better and better, okay? So really tap into that on the 5th. And then that following morning, we have the moon moving into Aquarius. The moon changes signs all the time throughout the course of the month and the year, of course. But this is significant because the moon will be in Aquarius for a couple of days, normal. But on the 8th, the Aquarius moon will be conjunct Saturn. And Aquarian energy is about looking at the bigger picture. What is the purpose of my spiritual awakening? What is the purpose in service to the collective? What is the purpose in me possibly being tied to another energy, karmic, soulmate, twin, whatever you want to call it, for my ascension journey? How am I here uniquely? How is my experience so unique, but also in service to the collective? What have I been through in my life that is unique to me? And how can I cultivate that into service of some kind for everyone else? Understand any job you hold, anything you do, can all be tied back to your spiritual journey in some way, okay? So spend some time in that energy really meditating, resting, asking Source, like, what is the purpose here? Also, 4 of Swords, again, a reminder, some of you might be sleeping with the wrong people or rushing into new connections or tied to energies that you have not cleared yet from previous connections. So really, right now, 4 of Pentacles, protect your energy, guard against it. Be very mindful of who you are engaging in energetic ways like that with, okay? Money is energy, time is energy, communication's energy, sex is energy. And having sex with someone is the highest form in which we can exchange energy. So be very mindful of that. It doesn't mean you'll never have sex again, but for many people on their journeys, it helps to pull back for a few weeks, months, and it doesn't mean you cannot self-pleasure. I fully encourage that, but be very mindful of what you're doing with those energies, okay? It can get very dicey as you awaken if you're not protecting that sacred, sacral energy that you hold. So on the 9th, though, immediately after this conjunction we have with Saturn and Aquarius, we're hitting retrograde, Mercury retrograde. We've had a lot of planets in retrograde lately, but Mercury retrograde gets the biggest shebang. I feel like a lot of people talk about it. It's because a lot of times we have masculine energy coming back in our orbit. I always joke Mercury retrogrades are kind of like masculine energy, I don't know, like really horny, or I don't know, like their periods, like I don't know, they just get all like flustered, like I need to reach out, I need to something, blah, 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 blah. And so don't let this catch you off guard. And again, don't go jump into bed with someone, especially if it's during retrograde. Ask yourself, is this person being legit in their communication? Are they committing to me? Are we making this official? Excuse me, again, speaking up for yourself. Why is it that you cannot do this? Ask yourself if someone's coming back in, make sure that they're communicating consistently with you, that they're being open, that they're telling their friends and family about you, whatever it might be, before you go jump into bed with them, okay? Because you don't want to make the same mistake again and end up totally brokenhearted. All right. Also, travel can be affected by this. Be mindful of anywhere you're traveling. Make sure you're divinely guided there. That can get a little dicey. Technology can. Be sure to save your documents, double check anything you're doing at work or for your business. It's just always good practice during Mercury retrograde. And then the 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th, bam, bam, bam. The 10th, we have the full moon in Pisces. And let me tell you something, okay? Pisces is some serious energy. It closes out the zodiac wheel, highly intuitive, very deep, like ingrained, you know, it's kind of like that Scorpio, that water energy, right? But this is going to be a real deep dive for people of like, what do you really need to release? What is that thing deep within you that you're holding on to that is fear-based, right? Or makes you feel unworthy or unhappy, or maybe it's about a connection, whatever it is. This is going to be a great time to release that, get out of your head about overthinking it. So write it down, burn that piece of paper, send it to the universe, be like, I'm not going to let this control me, whether it's a relationship, a limiting belief, whatever it might be. Okay, because I feel like around this full moon, many of you Sagittarius feminines are going to feel very weak, imbalanced. You're going to be like, I don't know what to do. That's what you need to do. Go ahead right now, mark your calendars, plan it. Be like, I'm going to focus from, you know, the 5th through the 10th on really getting clear about what I want and what I don't want and releasing that. Completing a cycle here, protecting your energy. This woman sits in the middle of this wreath, and I always take that as a reminder as well to protect your energy. Out of your heads. Don't sit there in bed just thinking about someone. If you're overthinking about someone, if you're in bed sexually thinking about someone, you're sending them energy. You're just feeding their ego. You're just making them stronger. Okay, so don't do that. That's considered a form of dark magic, sex magic. No, if you have feelings for someone, you tell them this, you try to talk with them, and if they don't want that, then you have to accept that rejection and move forward. Okay, and I know that's very, very painful. Sounds easier than it is. But continue to do that. If you have anger around this, well, this isn't fair. This person presented this way. They acted like they loved me. They love bombed me. They came in. I nurtured them, Christina. I was there for them. I loved them. And then they ran. Channel that energy, whether it's sexual energy, anger. The Queen of Wands reversed can be both of those things. Channel it on your own through sexual energy, or channel that anger punching a pillow, getting outside, you know, maybe yard work, exercise, but try to find a way to do it on your own. I love dancing, channeling some really intense music. Daxed is a great, any of his songs are great to really hype yourself up and be like, no, I don't deserve this. No, I won't take this. No, I'm going to be more powerful. You know what I mean? So whether it's shadow work or a past relationship, channeling that anger, especially around that full moon, is going to give you strength, okay? But don't take it out on others. We're not here to like go, you know, hurt people or punch walls or anything like that. But we are here to clear out our own anger so we can clear out our chakras, okay? And clear out those lower chakras of any residual sexual energy and say, I don't want that. I don't want that. However you intuitively feel called to do this, okay? If you'd like more guidance, I'm happy to book personal readings on my website, gingermama.com. I'm happy to discuss anything. I'm an open book, and I'm here for all of you. Tiger's blood incense might also be something you want to consider lighting around that full moon energy to help release any anger or lower chakra blocks from previous sexual encounters, okay, or trauma. So anyways, on the 23rd, we still have Mercury in retrograde, by the way. This is going on through the rest of the month. But that retrograde shifts from the sign of Libra to the sign of Virgo. And so those of you possibly with Libra placements or someone you're tied to you might be more likely to hear from them earlier in the month. Those of you with Virgo placements or someone you know does, it might be later in the month. So food for thought. But right now, if you're wondering about a masculine energy, it's like they're still wishy-washy. They're online thinking about you, but they're not emotionally available. They're very insecure. They're not tapped in with their emotions at all. So again, leave this situation in the past and you focus on speaking your truth. If you're called to a social media platform or you're called to a certain calling, whatever that is, speaking in public in any way, don't be afraid to speak the truth, okay? Like, this is your experience, and you're allowed to speak openly and honestly about the ways in which someone presented one way but didn't act accordingly another way. So keep that in mind. The new moon will be in Virgo, or the new moon will begin Libra season on the 25th. And not begin, but that's the new moon at the end of the month. And the 29th will have Venus in Libra. This is going to feel like a breath of fresh air. I'm telling you right now. You might have a hard month, but just know that on the 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, you're going to be feeling like a whole new person. Your emotions are going to be more balanced. You're going to be looking to the future. You're going to be feeling like the sun. You're going to be like, yes, I did it. I've released this person. I didn't tolerate this shit. I upheld my boundaries, family, friends, lovers. I know my truth, and I'm feeling so much better. Okay, but you have to do the work this month of channeling the pain, the anger, setting the boundaries before you get to that feeling of real gentleness, calmness, peace. Okay, so I know it's a lot, but we can do it. We can do it, 3 weeks, right? You can do it, and you're going to be feeling better by the end. So I love all of you. I do want to quickly pull, excuse me, a moon card again. So many of you need to speak your truth, whatever that truth is, about your most authentic self, to family, to friends, to this person if you haven't already. And if you already have, then you need to speak it to yourself. This person is not who I thought they were. I need to release them. Okay. So yeah, adjustments are required, the quarter moon. Again, this is adjustments are required right now, especially the beginning of this month. Balance spirituality and practicality. So be very mindful. Am I floating too much into this upper chakra energy, feminine energy? Am I grounding into my masculine energy? What is wounded? What is healed? What does this look like? Again, I have wonderful blog posts about these energies and how to help balance that, because it is difficult to float between the two as you ascend. Surrender to the divine and have faith in your dreams, okay? Believe in yourself. Again, the idea that you are the main character, okay? You got this. I love all of you. Have a beautiful month. And if this helped you, please subscribe and consider tuning back in a couple of weeks and rewatching this, or at the end of the month. I find it very helpful to be like, oh my goodness, that was really what did occur those first 5, 10, 15 days of the month. And I do need to tap into this or that. So I love all of you. Have a wonderful day.